Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our final episode of coverage for Temptation Island 2026. We're here talking about most of season 8 and the entire finale. So, if you haven't watched the season, this is your chance to go back, open up Netflix, watch the season. I'm, of course, Kirsten MacInnis, joined as always by the marvelous Maggie Morgan. Maggie, how are you?
Oh, I'm so great. Kirsten, what a season it's been. I love this terrible show. It's just so fun. It's so fun. And there's so much to get into. Like, I can't wait to talk about where all of these couples ended up, the predictions that were right versus not right,
Yes.
where we were at. I love the change that Netflix made, getting rid of those tacky final dates. Like,
Yes.
thank you, you know?
Yes, because on pretty much all of these love shows, when it comes down to
Mhm.
the end, when there's like a couple that seems really like they're connecting, they always send them. There's like someone goes in a helicopter, someone goes on a yacht, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. They all stay overnight. They whatever, and the end of love shows typically is
Mhm.
always the worst part of this season because it's so boring. The drama is gone. It's just schmoopy love, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah. But Temptation Island's not Temptation Island because they
Mhm.
have the final bonfire. Like, Temptation Island to me is really
Mhm.
the only love show that can stick a landing because
Mhm.
it's more drama based, kind of.
Mhm.
And so the fact that they ever had those dumb final dates was just a waste. We didn't need them. We
No.
never needed them. And now they just did away with them. And thank you. Thank you to Netflix. I
Mhm.
Netflix doesn't always get everything right, but they got
Mhm.
this right.
And I'm so grateful because now we don't have to waste 20 minutes of this podcast episode talking about what they were doing. Like, we can just upfront be like, okay, the people left. Everybody kind of got weirdly emotional. Sydney
Mhm.
and Xavier were like so sad to leave each other. But like, even, the guys, when they were like saying to all the women how grateful they were to them, like Jack kind of got weirdly emotional. And like, all of the girls were like, you guys showed us our worth. And, it was
Mhm.
schmoopy in that way. And then like, move along.
And it was fast because, like, again,
Mhm.
my notes, like always, are broken down couple by couple, and I have like
Mhm.
a tiny little bit of what happened before the final bonfire, and then it's all
Uh-huh.
final bonfire, baby.
Ugh, and what a final bonfire it was.
And
I
the final bonfire it
I
was.
feel like there were people. I mean, we should just get into it. Who would you
Yeah,
like to start with?
I think so. It's so hard because I feel like the episode didn't necessarily do it in the order that I would have wanted to
I
do it. I think we should get Cole and Scarlett out of the way
I'm
first,
chomping
though.
at the bit to talk about them.
Okay.
I'm like so ready to talk about them.
So, Cole and Scarlett, I wrote very like all everything before the final bonfire is just the exact same as everything else. Scarlett worried that
Mhm.
Cole is doing the same thing he always does. Cole being confused because he's now realizing the issues he thought were issues aren't the real issues 10 episodes into Temptation Island. And like, Scarlett's thing is like she now knows from Brad like what she wants out of
Mhm.
life. And Cole's big thing is old Cole would have lied to her about the journal, but I'm going to tell her about the journal. And to be fair, that's growth.
It is growth, but Scarlett has something to say about that when it comes up.
Yes. And I was
Mhm.
like actually really mad at him because so they go to the final bonfire.
Mhm.
And for anyone who is new to Temptation Island, at the final bonfire, the original couples come back together. They each get a chance to really just speak from their heart and say whatever they need to say. And the other person has to just sit and listen.
Mhm.
And then the other person gets to talk. And then they have a conversation. And then they decide, do they want to leave Temptation Island together? Do they want to leave alone? Or do they want to leave with one of the tempters?
Mhm.
And Cole, like, Cole has his moment to
Ugh,
speak, and he said he was gonna lead with the journal, and he didn't
he
lead with the
blew it.
journal, which to me
He
was like, okay, so he doesn't know what's going on
No,
still.
he blew it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I was like, "Okay, I'm ready to hear what he has to say," and he said a whole lot of word salad. I was like, "Cole, what are you doing? Like,
He
why would you not immediately say the part about, like, old Cole would have done,
Yes.
whatever, and, like, at least get her to have a little more time to process. Like, she's not allowed to say anything back at that point. Then she's going to go through her whole spiel. So then that would give her a little bit of time to process what you've said and maybe see your point of view, instead of her immediately being like, okay, so it was on camera. That's the only reason you're telling me. Like, it's on camera.
Yeah, and the thing is like Cole's little monologue is he goes in and he basically goes on the attack. He's like, we came in with boundaries, like we had agreed we wouldn't really go on dates with the same people. You know, I saw our boundaries unwinding to the point where I don't even know how far you went. I'm thinking of an emotional connection with someone, making choices we agreed not to make. Like, I believe you less and less over time. If the roles were reversed here, like, it would be so crazy and I don't feel safe. I had to reinvent myself, but now I can make you feel safe by telling you the truth. And it's like, it's nonsensical. As you said, word salad. Scarlett's is like, well, we had no trust, no foundation, no communication. Like, we've literally known each other for how long and we can't even talk to each other. Like, we were both so worried about physical cheating, but then neither of our journeys were about cheating. Like, there's things missing that we need. I feel disconnected with you and at peace and connected spiritually when I'm away from you.
It's over, you know?
It's over.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've seen this on Temptation Island, where we basically have a couple that's like, so actually the issue is not our trust issues. The issue is that, like, at a core foundation level, we don't connect. I thought it was kind of fascinating because I felt like I was watching just like a real life breakup, you know, outside of the bizarro world of Temptation Island. I was like, this is a conversation that would happen to like, that could happen to anyone outside of this bizarro social experiment, you know?
Yeah. And I do wonder, like, I think you're right that this is the first time it's been portrayed to us like this, but I actually think that probably a lot of couples on Temptation Island have had this same core issue and just never really got to it or had the words to make it make sense to us in the same way. So I think that's really interesting. Again, they have the conversation and Cole's talking about how traumatized he is. Like, it's, again, he tells her, you know what, I looked at your journal. I take accountability for that. I know it was wrong. And again, on all of these shows, like especially on the latest season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, everyone loves to use the word accountability and say, I'm taking accountability. But like, that's not what accountability means. Like, accountability for this is like, okay, you know it's wrong and she's not okay with it. So the accountability is that you can't be together anymore because you broke the trust. Like, you can't just say, I take accountability, like Michael Scott declaring bankruptcy, and think that like now everything's fine. Like, it's just not how it works.
But that's the thing. Like, I think that a lot of people who are immature, and I say this about men and women, I only date men. So I have been in this situation with men where like they will reveal something that they did, and then I'm like, okay, it's over. And they're like, why aren't you yelling at me? Like, why aren't you mad? And like, the answer is because like, that's not what the accountability is to me. Like, I think to Cole, he's like, I take accountability. So like, yeah, you're going to yell at me for 5 minutes and now it's over because I took accountability. And it's like, no, actually, like, the accountability is not getting scolded. The accountability is like, the person gets to decide whether or not they want to continue in this relationship.
Yeah, the accountability is facing the consequences for the actions that you took, and you don't get to decide what those consequences are just because you're coming forward. Like, it's the same thing of like, you can apologize to someone, but that doesn't mean they have to accept your apology. And it's just, again, he's just not operating on the same plane as her, and it's just kind of hard to watch at this point. Like, he still says, I want to leave with you because I love you so much. And she's like, no, I need to leave alone. I'm not going to sacrifice my peace for you. And then she leaves alone. She feels good about it. And he's like sitting there, little sad sack with Mark L. Wahlberg, to the point where Mark is literally like, Cole, you've only taken the first step towards getting to know yourself.
Yes!
Like, all right. And he literally says, all right, pal, it's time to go home, as if Cole is about 5 years old. Like,
it's like, he's just not. And then his like everything afterwards, he's like, I'm a great guy. I do all these things for her. Like, I don't understand. And the answer is just like, it's just not the same. Like, you guys just aren't wanting the same things out of your partners,
yeah.
and that's okay. And that doesn't mean like Cole, I wholeheartedly believe you will find the right person for you. It's not Scarlett. And Scarlett is able to understand that and go on the search for the best person for her. And like, again, this is just a classic, like, they are just not each other's person. And no matter how much Cole loves her, like, he's just not her person. And, you know, that's that. But you're so right about the
Exactly.
Mark Wahlberg, like, being like, yeah, you got like 10% of the way there.
He literally says, I think you've only taken the first step in towards truly knowing yourself, which is actually such a burn.
I was like, devastating.
That's if someone said that to me, I would be so devastated.
Yes. I don't really have anything else to
No,
say
and that's
about
it.
them. Yeah.
And that's it on Scarlett and Cole, and that's why we
Okay.
had to start with them.
One final thing, prediction corner. We're not going to get into any internet sleuthing, anything that will be for the postseason.
Yes.
Predictions corner. Will they stay broken up?
They will stay broken up, and I would go so far as to say she has never spoken to him again. He has probably reached out to her countless times, but she has blocked his number. That is my prediction.
Together. They live together.
And literally he's like, we live together. What are we supposed to do? No, she got an earlier flight home. That's why they had to hold him with Mark Wahlberg for 5 minutes. She called her parents and she said, get my stuff out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's never been more over.
Never. Nothing has ever been more over.
Yeah. Okay. Who should we talk about next?
Maybe Mikey and Sydney.
Okay. Yeah, I also have a lot to say about them. And I think I'm going to say something controversial yet brave.
Please stand in your truth.
I was very proud at the way Mikey handled himself at the final bonfire. I felt like he did take some accountability with Sydney about the way that he had treated her in the past, and did say, you know, he understood that even though he feels he's done everything right, you know, since they've been together the past year, some of those wounds can't be healed. And I thought that he didn't lash out at her. I thought that he, you know, remained a cool head. And I genuinely believe, I could be putting on clown makeup, you know, next podcast that we do. I genuinely believe this was a huge learning experience for Mikey and a huge growing experience for him. And I hope and I'm rooting for him that he will move forward differently with the way that he treats women in his life and the way that he looks for validation. That is my truth that I'm sitting in.
But here's the thing, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like, I think that the big part of it and the key difference between Mikey taking accountability and Cole taking accountability is Mikey understands that even though he feels he's done the work and he thinks he could prove to her that they could be good partners moving forward, he also gets that Sydney is a whole human being in her own right, and that she gets to decide like where things go from there. And so I actually have so much faith in Mikey moving forward to continue to do the work on himself. I think this really like opens something up in him. And we said this last time, like, this is a crossroads where Mikey can make the decision to work on himself and be a better Mikey, or he can revert to old ways and be worse. And I think the way he talked to her, it could be okay. Like, when they go to the final bonfire, Mikey says, like, his feeling is, oh, if she really loved me, she wouldn't have moved on so quick. So why did she bring me here? But when it comes into the conversation, he says, we came here with love and I want to leave with love. I respect
Mm-hmm.
you and I respect any decision you make. Like, I've been miserable and making everyone else miserable. And, you said when we came in that there was a 98% chance we'd leave together, but that 2% was on him. And
Mm-hmm.
now look at the situation that we're in. Like, the one criticism I'll give for Mikey is how much he harped on her, like, biting her lip when Xavier was playing the guitar on that hammock. Because, like, they didn't even show his song. How many shitty acoustic songs have we seen of men playing? She was probably biting her lip not to laugh. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
so clear about that. But, like,
Mm-hmm.
he really brought up her biting her lip, like, a lot over the whole
Mm-hmm.
season. And he's like, I had to sit here and watch you fall in love with someone else, and it hurts. But, like, through this hurt, I've grown stronger, and I didn't do anything wrong.
And
And
I really do believe him when he says through this hurt I've grown stronger. And I don't know if we've ever had a man on Temptation Island that I personally feel grew and owned up to some of his mistakes and had, like, graciously accepted. I mean, I don't know if it was completely gracious. He's very hurt, obviously, but,
mhm.
like, as graciously as you can accept having watched your girlfriend that you love move on to another man. Like, I'm rooting for him, and I hope that Mikey has continued this work after he left the villa. And if he has, like, I would be interested to see him on other shows. I think he's a really fun personality. He would be really fun on, any other Netflix show, any competition show. Like, I I'm a Mikey fan. What can I say? I have to stand in my truth.
Yeah, I think that you're more of a fan of him than I am, but, like, I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan as well. Like, I
Uh-huh.
think he's okay. Like, what really makes me kind of sick is, like,
Mhm.
if he had just not said 2 things in this season, they could have left together. Like,
Mhm.
if he had just not said he was scared of falling for the 3 amigas and
Mhm.
not had a confessional where he said he has to shoot his shot with India, like, ev if one thing had been different, everything could be different. Like,
Yes, but also maybe not. Like, maybe not. Maybe she still would have fallen for Xavier and been like, even if he's being great, like, this is just so much better than what I've been putting up with from him,
yeah,
Like,
I
yeah.
don't think she would have opened herself up to Xavier in the same way to allow it
Mhm.
in. Like, I really think that she would have had a friendship with him, but I
Mhm.
don't think she would have been willing to open the door romantically if she had seen Mikey, like, on good behavior and crying that he missed her and, like,
Mhm.
growing. But then maybe he wouldn't have grown this much if he hadn't been hurt so much. It's
What I'm
also
saying.
it's it's hard to know again
And
if it had been different.
you know who else is a Mikey fan?
Who?
Mark L. Wahlberg.
Yes. Yes, he
He even
is.
stands up for him to Sydney and says, I have seen a lot of growth here from this young man. And and when I say, like, Sydney moving on, I don't blame her at all. It seems like Mikey doesn't blame her at all. Her and Xavier seem so sweet together.
Yes.
I hope they're still together. I
I
love
hope so
Sydney.
too.
Like, I'm such a fan of hers. I think that she is a star. But, like, you know, I felt like Mark was really helpful in guiding the conversation and keeping it in a respectful, like,
Mhm.
loving place for both of them, rather than, because I do think that she's still very angry at Mikey for the things that he's put her
Yeah.
through. Even if he didn't physically cheat on her in Temptation Island, like, she very clearly has a lot of old wounds from the things that they've been through. And I do feel like Mark kind of helped manage the situation and be like, yes, definitely. And also, what is sitting in front of you is different than what you came in with. Like, the attitude from
Mhm.
him is different than the attitude that he had 3 weeks ago. And I really enjoyed watching both of them. I feel like I was like, Temptation Island's working. Like, what is
Yeah,
this?
it's this, like, I'm gonna have to confront this myself, like, personally, the idea that Temptation Island is actually working and people are growing as people as a result. Like,
Yeah,
like
what?
that to that, I'm like, oh, maybe we'll find out on social media that all of
Yeah.
this growth was like, I don't know. I'm very
Uh-huh.
open to being extremely wrong about anybody I
Yes.
like on Temptation Island,
Same.
especially the men, but also the women.
Mm.
And so like, and even to the point where it comes to the decision, like Mikey's like, you know what I want to say, and I know what
Mhm.
I want to say, but I have to go home alone. I just want to be loved, and I want you to be loved. Like, in his
Mhm.
confessional, then he's like, I love that girl. And I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to lose a great love to find your like person. Like, not
Yeah.
that I think there's like one person
Mhm.
by any means, but like the one that you actually will be able to
The
settle down with and fully show up for.
the thing is, like, there are so many things in your life as you grow up that are formative experiences. And I don't know that Mikey has ever had his heart broken. And
Mhm.
like your first heartbreak is a formative experience, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter what form or shape it took. Like your first heartbreak is a formative experience. There will be no other heartbreak that you will ever experience in your life romantically that will be as painful as that first one because you've never gone through it before. And I think that Mikey is just having the formative experience of his first true heartbreak. And how lucky that he didn't have it until he was 24. Most of us have it at,
Yeah.
17 or 20 or, and but I do think even the growth of him being like, I want to go home with you, but I know I need to leave alone. Like, I think that demonstrates growth. And I'm
I mean,
interested.
it
Yeah.
demonstrates growth, but also he knows she's not picking him. So it also just demonstrates some self-respect.
And and you know what everybody on Temptation needs a little dose of? Self-respect.
Self-respect. Yeah. 100%. So then Sydney, of course, says she wants to leave with Xavier. Xavier
Uh-huh.
comes out. They immediately are hugging, talking about how they look so good together. She says, I would love to
Mhm.
leave here with you. And he goes, of course. Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you asking? Like, of course we're leaving
Uh-huh.
together. And she says, I have fallen in love with you. And then he like I think he's a little bit shocked when she says it, and it kind of goes back and forth a little, and then he goes, well, I've been loving you for some time. I They were there 3 weeks. And it's not for I'm not saying like I don't believe that they actually fell in love. I'm just like, what do you mean you fell in love with a tempter you met on Temptation Island when you entered with your boyfriend who had like really hurt you? Is this real life?
Maybe. That's why I'm so interested to see if they're together. Okay, prediction corner. Are
Yes.
Xavier and Sydney still together?
I'm gonna predict yes, because like they live in a similar area geographically, which is a
Mhm.
huge barrier on these
Yep.
Netflix love shows where sometimes people just like don't live near and it doesn't work
Mhm.
out. So like it wouldn't be long distance. They see like they're literally glowing together and calling that their relationship a blessing. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna put my foot down. I think they're still together, and I hope
I
so.
I also hope so. And I used to never think that it was ever possible that anybody from Temptation Island could fall in love and stay together. But, I'm not to invoke his name, but Hall and
No.
Michaela are still
Eh.
together. They are still together.
I think
They
they got
did.
married.
Like, I'm telling you, that like Temptation Island is where they fell in
I
love.
the fact that a man like Hall gets to be with a Playboy bunny will
Yeah.
never make sense to me in
Yeah.
this world. But like you're right,
Mhm.
it does happen. People do
Mhm.
fall in love in the strangest of ways. And I
Mhm.
believe in this relationship way more than
Me
I believed in
too.
that one.
Same.
So
So fingers crossed. I really hope that, I would love nothing more than, you know, 3 days from now to see once their NDAs break or whatever, to see posts
mhm.
of them living their best life and being together. I believe in love,
Oh, I hope so. I
especially
do
with beautiful people.
I believe in love for ugly people too. I'm gonna
No, no,
stand in
no.
my truth.
Of course. I'm just saying, like, I believe in their love because they look so beautiful together that, like, I'm like, it's
They
perfect.
And it literally transcends their physical good looks too. And like,
Yes.
you can't set those good looks aside. They are two of the most
Yes.
beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. But they are like, Sydney took on a glow.
Yes.
But Xavier also has more of a glow now too. Like, it's so.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them.
Yep. Totally.
Okay. Do we want to go Jack and Cheyenne or Summit and Kaylee? This is up to you.
I think we do Summit and Kaylee because I know that you're going to be really upset and we should end in a fun way.
You're right. I'm really upset. When Summit and Kaylee was the 4th final bonfire on the show, I like you know that TikTok guy who like when he tries something good, he like throws his glasses. Jordan the Stallion, I think. I do that when I see something bad, and I like wanted to whip out my glasses, like throw them across the room. I was like, this is like, I think that's the closest I've ever been to understanding why men punch walls. Like, I didn't punch a wall and I would never, but like, it's the closest I would feel to that level of like rage from your body. So okay. So they like, before the final bonfire, like, he has a convo with Julianne. Kaylee and Chris have a convo. Like, Chris was immediately crying, and I was like, what are we doing here? This is where Summit calls his mom, which you knew was gonna happen. And I think Summit's mom is a very interesting woman, just based on what we've heard. I don't know her at all, but the way she said, like, I feel like she was immediately jumping in, pushing him to leave single. I think she does not like Kaylee.
I think I felt like she, you said last episode when we talked, his mom was a yoga instructor, and I felt that from their conversation. She was like, I felt it. I felt that you were in trouble. Like, I felt that you needed. I think also she was trying to figure out, like, when he was sobbing, I think she was trying to be like, did he cheat on his girlfriend on national television? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she was trying to, I think
she is pushing so much, like, this is a gift for both of you before you settle down. Like, you want to be tempted the most anyone could be tempted. Everyone should take this test. I'm like, what, girl? No. And I feel like she was pushing so much, like, you're so young, you have so much life to live. Like, it's okay if you like do what's best for you. And like, I felt like she wanted them to break up. And I got an undercurrent that she might not like Kaylee. And it might not be that it's Kaylee specifically. I got the sense that she is a boy mom trademark. Like, not a mother of a son, a boy mom. I got this sense immediately. I'm open to being wrong, but I really do trust my gut on these matters. And it's the way that I felt.
I have been proven, like, I have piles of evidence that says I should not go against you in these moments. So, I'm going to plead the fifth and say I go with what your opinion is. I just like, I think that what pissed me off about their final bonfire was like, he basically just said like everything that she wanted to hear, and we didn't even really see it during this season.
I don't believe him.
From that's why it felt disingenuous, because I was like, where did this come from? Like, we got a scene of him like sobbing to his mom, being like, I don't know what I want to do. And then he's in the final bonfire being like, I am so sure of you. I want to move in together. I want to get a dog. Like, I love you. I want to be with you. You are my forever. Like, I was just like, where did this come from?
No, it goes back to when they did the video messages. And after Summit got his video message, he said, I know what I have to do now. I just have to be a better man. And I think that he is performing better man, but we have no evidence that he has actually changed, grown, or feels differently about her than he did before. And like, I think Kaylee had immense growth. Like, she really does say, like, I wasn't always happy and I leaned on you to be the source of my happiness, and that wasn't fair. And I felt really deeply in my soul. I really, really related to that in what she said. But like, she says she just needs to feel like wanted, loved, like she's the priority. And he says, yeah, I understand what you said. The things you said were shocking. But I'm done being 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. Like, you deserve the best and I just want to be with you. But then like it goes to the dialogue section and the first thing he says is, I have to ask, did you have a physical connection with anybody in the villa? And it's like, if he did, you would have seen it. And like, she's like, yeah, I would also like to know that because I saw you with the same person a lot of times in a row and it really made me question things. He's like, no, she's just a friend. Okay.
No,
and like,
it felt like a script. Like, I don't know. Even Kaylee was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you're like, who are you? I can't believe you're saying this. I was like,
yes, who is this?
Who are you? Like, who are you? Yeah.
It's so wild to me. Like, in the conversation though, this part I did like. He goes, do you think I'm a sociopath? And she's like, no. And he's like, you said that and I saw it in a bonfire. And she's like, I don't remember saying those words.
Yeah.
And he like describes the whole story and she's like, well, I don't think you're a sociopath and I definitely just said that out of anger. Like, I was just hurting and felt like you didn't care about me. And it's like
that's not good either.
That is a bold thing to say out of anger and not mean.
And like, that's not good on her behalf. I don't think that I would ever call somebody that I love a sociopath.
No, like, because how can you love someone and think they're a sociopath?
No, yeah. And also the fact that she had no memory of it, I was like, it just slipped off your tongue that fast. Like, what?
Well, but Kate, to be fair, she could have been blackout drunk.
1000%. We'll need to know after. Kaylee, come on the pod. We need to know. We need to ask questions. If any of you guys would like to come on the pod, I'm sure that there are several of you who hate us.
I mean, if any of them are listening, are they listening to this point in the final?
No, but you know, if any of you would like to come on the pod, we have many questions.
I would love to chop it up with anyone from Temptation Island that would like to talk to us. He literally says, I learned to show more empathy. And I'm like, I pray that's true. I actually pray that that's true.
Yeah.
But we've seen no evidence of it on the show. Like, it's an edited product.
It was maybe just bizarro. Was it not?
So weird. It was bizarre. I do not believe it. And he says, you know what? Like, she literally says, you know, coming in, I had no idea what to expect, but like, I'm seeing a changed man who owns up to what he's done and wants to be better. So like, I'm proud of you and I'd be an idiot not to leave with you. So like, of course I want to leave with you. And he goes, commitment was my issue this whole time. I want to show you that I'm diving in headfirst and commit to you. I want to leave with you. He reaches into his pocket. I'm like, if it's a ring, I'm throwing my computer out the window.
I got really stressed.
Thankfully, it was a dog collar. And he says, you know, we've talked a lot about getting a dog together. I want to get a dog together. And on that collar, there's a key. And it's symbolic because I want to move in together. And she's like, it's a dream come true. Of course, yes. I'm like, what are we doing?
The thing is, like, I was like, this is so bizarre. And also her reactions were like, she thought it was kind of bizarre too, I felt.
Yes.
Like, she was like, what am I even supposed to say to this? This is so crazy. Like, yeah.
She was shocked. And this is where the only thing that gives me hope that like this might be real and maybe Summit did have more change that just like got lost on the editing room floor is Marco Wahlberg says like, I'm happy for you guys and I wish you the best and I don't have a concern in my heart about you. Like, I think that if he was, he would say like, happy for you, I wish you the best. I don't think he would say that part of I don't have a concern in my heart if he still like hated Summit the way he did at the start of the season.
Yes, exactly. So I hope that they're like, and I think when Summit left, he was like, Mark, I'll call you. Literally. Like, I think it's like, Dad?
Mark's like, we will be talking every week because I love Kaylee. And if you do not treat her like the gem that she is, I'll be cleaning my shotgun because I'm her dad too.
Yeah, like seriously. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, I guess good for them. Prediction corner, do you think they're still together?
I do think they're still together.
Me too.
I don't think from what we saw, it doesn't feel like Summit ever was going to be the one to break it off. And it also
Mhm.
doesn't feel like Kaylee was ever going to be the one to break it off. So I think
Mhm.
that things would have had to take a really horrible bad turn for them to not be together anymore. And so I think they're together. Do we know how long ago this filmed? Like a year, right? Or almost a
Last
year?
summer, I think.
Yeah, so it's been nearly a year. I think they're still
Mhm.
together. They're probably
Yeah,
engaged.
that would be an interesting reveal. I don't think that they're engaged. I bet you that
I don't
because it probably took them a minute to move in together. I bet you that they moved in together like 6 months ago.
Yeah, but I think Summit strikes me as the type of guy where like they have the commitment of moving in together and it's not as scary as he thought it would be. And so then he's
Mhm.
not as scared of like all the other commitments and he knows that she
Yeah.
wanted that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait.
I hope it's good. I never
Mhm.
want anyone to be in a bad situation. So
No.
I hope it's a
No,
good situation.
me too. And we trust Father Mark L. Wahlberg. We trust his opinion.
And Marco
Mhm.
Wahlberg, we trust truly.
Mhm.
Although he does have a history of being like way too nice to people, even when they're being really horrible. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's his job. But like I said, like you said, I feel like he wouldn't have gone for it like if like
Yeah.
or said like I have no concern if he really did have concerns. Like I feel like he would be
Yeah.
like, I wish you luck. Good Godspeed on your journey.
100%. Like I wish you the best.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it's the final couple.
The
It
time has
is
come.
Jack and Cheyenne. The time has come. And they're both like very nervous about this. And
Mhm.
I want to not verbatim, but I want to just basically give the gist of both of their monologues because I think
Please.
that it's good, especially for this one. So Jack
Mhm.
goes first, and he says, "This whole thing has been hard. It was hard not to get a video, but I know why. I know you didn't want to come here, but I think we came here for a reason because we weren't happy and we were stuck. But he wouldn't take the past 5 years back for anything. He'd be lying if he said he doesn't love her. He doesn't know, and she'll believe him when he says that." Okay. So that's what he's saying. And then she's more mad. She's more
Mhm.
heated. She says, "I don't think you thought of me one time through this entire experience. Like,
True.
you know why you brought me here and you didn't stick to all those reasons at all. Like, what have I done to deserve the way that you treated me? You promised you would never make me feel this way again. And
Mhm.
you did it knowing I would see it on a screen. And if you didn't, why didn't you love me enough to just end the relationship? Like, I was constantly fighting for us. I didn't want to come here. Like, I knew how this would end. Thanks for showing me who you are. And you could never be the man I deserve because I can't even look at you the same."
The the point that she made of like, if you wanted to break up with me, why couldn't you have just been brave enough to break up with me rather than bring me on this television show to publicly humiliate me? Like, that's the crux of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, he hates you. Like, I'm so sorry he hates you because why else would somebody do that? Like, and it maybe he doesn't hate her and maybe he is just like so lame and like such a little scared boy that he like felt like he needed something like this bizarro world of Temptation Island to finally end things with her. But like if that's the case, he is a horrible person. Like
I
uh,
I do think like it's really important to note like they have been together 5 years and they both express like they were super codependent in their
uh-huh.
relationship, right? And so I do think that that adds a layer to it, not to defend Jack's actions at all because nothing that he did was okay, but I think
Mhm.
that it just provides like just a little bit more of an explanation as to why both of them kind of acted like this because they were so enmeshed that
Mhm.
they like cuz like why are you fighting so hard every day to be in a relationship? Like
Mhm.
it's you shouldn't have to fight every day. Like people say a lot, like you hear about how oh, relationships are hard work, blah blah blah. And it's like
Mhm.
a relationship is work because you have to put in time and effort to show someone
Mhm.
how much you care about them. But like
Mhm.
if it's someone you really love and who makes you feel safe and secure, like it actually doesn't feel like work because you are just putting in the time together because you love each other and you want to be together. And if it feels like hard work, like that's not your man.
My dad always says, like, life is hard. Your relationship shouldn't be one of the reasons that life is hard, because life is hard enough.
Yes.
And like, I think that this is the perfect example of that. Like, this is just a really hard relationship for them, but also he could not have treated her with more disrespect in his time on the island. Like,
Yeah.
I am baffled that he had the audacity to come in and be like, I love you. Like,
It's
in what world do you love her if you're behaving like that?
it's the way he couldn't even show Carter respect in the villa.
Oh
Like
my God.
he showed no respect for himself or anybody else the way that he acted on this show. It is so crazy to me. So then they have their dialogue
Mm-hmm.
and like it in the dialogue back and forth, like, you know, she talks, it's more like Mark starts it being like, I think you need to also like remember what you've meant to each other before you talk about this, because I think he's worried about it being really ugly.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, it's a lot of her being angry about being done dirty, being made to look like a fool, talking about how she was 10 toes down for him and then he got physical with someone else. Like, why did you do this? Did you forget the life that we built? Like, what is going on? And like, this is the part where I was like, I wanted to smack his little smug face, because like they're going back, like he mentions like, we go back and forth, we hurt each other, it's not healthy. And she's like, and you give nothing, why do you give nothing and I give everything? And he's like, why do you want to be with someone who gives nothing? And I'm like, Jack,
No,
what?
I'm so sorry. He sucks. He sucks.
It the way that he's acted is so crazy. And like
Yeah.
at the end of it, it kind of goes down to, you know, as shitty as this has been, thank you for what you've done for me. Like, we've both been shitty and we'll heal in time. Like, thanks for being my backbone for the past 5 years. And then he kind of ends up being like, well, hey, I'm going to grow and I'm going to be a better man. And like, hey, you never know what could happen. And I was like, stay away from her, get a job, stay away from her, because he is soft opening the door that they could get back together right here in this final bonfire before they both decide to leave alone.
I think he thinks he will be able to get back together with her.
The audacity of a man who thinks he could get someone back knows no bounds. He believes it. And honestly,
He believes it. Do you,
I think
Kirsten?
I don't not believe it, but I don't like strongly believe it either. Like,
I don't.
The thing is, here's the thing. I don't think it would take very much from him at all for her to take him back. Like, I really do think that if I like,
No.
I think that both of them have such little respect for themselves at this point that like I would believe anything. I hope and pray that it's not the case.
Cheyenne, listen to me. Listen.
I just love this new bit that they're listening to the podcast.
Cheyenne, stay away from that man. Okay? He has done. Look, I know 5 years is a long time and you can always hold love in your heart for him, but we gotta move on from this. We gotta. I don't think that they're together.
I hope not.
I don't think
they are. I don't think they are, but I think if you told me they were, I'd be like, oh. And I would just say, like, Cheyenne, listen to the song So Long London by Taylor Swift and listen to the bridge where it's like, it isn't right to feel scared every day of a love affair. Just think about it.
Oh, Cheyenne.
I don't think that they are, but if you told me they were, I would be like, okay.
That would devastate me.
I would be upset about it, but I would believe it. I would believe pretty much I would believe you if Cole and Scarlett got back together. I don't think they did, but like it could happen. Like any of these couples could get back together. Like, I don't know.
I mean, the people who go on Temptation Island are the type of people who would get back together after this. So, you know, you never know. But woof.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see. I'm sure we'll get a lot of Instagram lives.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm excited for the
Mhm.
Instagram lives. I'm excited for the TikTok lives. I'm excited for the
Mhm.
podcast appearances and all of the
Mhm.
updates. So we are going to compile, we're going to keep track of all of
Yep.
the things that we find out and all of the investigative journalism that we're able to do once their uh non-disclosure agreements have expired
Mhm.
and they can tell us all of the facts.
Mhm.
And we're just so excited. This has been such a wonderful season of Temptation Island. It's been so good, so enjoyable, and we hope you
Mhm.
enjoyed it and our coverage.
Yes, we had so much fun with you guys. Please, please rate us on Apple Podcasts. Unfortunately, our like phones have a glitch where we can't read any of your comments if it's not 5 stars. So after you give a 5-star review, we will be able to see, whatever comments you have. And then also, please comment on the YouTube video. We are
Yes.
live on YouTube. I will be in there. Kirsten will be in there. We'll be able to chat about all of our thoughts. This season genuinely was so fun. Like, I just kept texting Kirsten the whole time and being like, I love this show. This show is so
Mhm.
fun. It's great. It's a fabulous time. And I want to thank all of our contestants for giving us their mess. We appreciate
Yes.
you. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you to Mark L. Wahlberg for all of the work that you have done to make this show such an incredible watching experience. Kirsten, what about you? What are you up to? Where can people find you? Is there anything else that you want to say as we come to an end of this coverage?
Just, co-sign everything you said about
Mhm.
thank you to everyone who made this show happen.
Mhm.
Marco Wahlberg, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you. Please, my DMs are open.
Please. Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, if you want to hear what else I have going on, you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What. And you can also, right here on the Hot Dummies on Islands feed next week, Love Island Beyond the Villa is coming back for a second season, and Brian Scally and myself will be covering that together. So it's Hot Dummy season, everybody. Get ready. I'm gonna be booked and busy through July, basically. uh
I can't wait.
and Maggie, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Emma Morgan _. You can find me on Blue Sky at Emma Morgan. I'm around. I'm hanging. I post a TikTok every week on the RHAP TikTok channel about the Survivor episode with my hot takes. So check those out. Yeah, I'm hanging, and this spring I'm very busy and loving the Survivor season and ready for Big Brother to come back.
We're getting close. It's gonna be,
Mhm.
listen, if you watch Love Island again, it's gonna be Love Island Beyond the Villa, and then that's gonna end, and then Love Island starts, and then it's Big Brother before we
Oh,
know it.
Carson, I will be watching Love Island again. Let's not
Hey, we'll
let's
have to we'll
not
have to have you on the pod.
Oh, please. I had so much fun last season. All my friends were watching it. Like, it was a true phenomenon in
Mhm.
in the universe, in the Hot Dummies on Islands universe, I feel. Mhm.
It's growing and growing. But anyways, thank
Mhm.
you so much everyone for listening. We appreciate all of your feedback, comments, 5-star reviews, and we'll be back when we have postseason mess for you. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.